And welcome back to Memorial Field, everyone. Thanks again. Second game of a double-header today. Wesleyan takes the first one 7-6 to keep their playoff hopes alive. And again, Wesleyan has to take both these games today to even give themselves a chance. There's still a make-up game they'll have to play against Hamilton, even if they do win Game 2, to try and get into the playoffs. Amherst only needs to take one of two. They took yesterday's game against against Wesleyan at Middletown. Let's get that right. And losing here in Game 1. Jackson Volley went all the way, but gave up a two-run homer with two outs in the top of the seventh inning to Ryan Earl to give Wesleyan the win in dramatic fashion. And Amherst had two runners on in the bottom of the seventh with one out. Runners at second and third, Nick Nardone and Ryan Harden at second and third, and Will Murphy hit a bullet to second base that Johnny Corning stabbed to hold the runners and get the second out, and then the third out was granted next to secure the win for the Cardinals. So they go to 5-5 in the West Division and keep their hopes alive, because they need to win this one and win the next one, and they will have the tie break against Amherst. Here's the first pitch on the way. Sam Schneider is the pitcher for Amherst. First one to Johnny Corning leading off is fouled away to first base. So Ryan Earl got the win. He was the designated hitter and the pitcher, coming in relief of Ethan Rohde. Ethan Rohde went 4.2 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 base on ball, 2 strikeouts. And a ground, it's a line out to Harry Roberson, so 1 away. It's going to bring up Ellis Schaefer, the second baseman, for a 7-inning game. It was a thriller. I mean, it was back and forth. Amherst had a 3-0 lead. Wesleyan came back to make it 5-3. Then Amherst made it 5-4 and eventually went ahead 6-5, only to have Ryan Earl with a 2-run homer in the top of the seventh to get the win. It was a no-doubter, too. Ground ball to second base. Max Steinhorn over to Chase Henley, 2 away very quickly. Sam Schneider on the mound for Amherst, junior from Coronado, California. Will O'Sullivan is the first baseman. As the next man up for the Cardinals, who absolutely have to have this game too, and the next one if there is one. First pitch on the way is a strike to Will O'Sullivan. Ball called. So 1-1, 2 outs in the inning. They will play 9 innings in game number 2. Next pitch on the way. O'Sullivan offered, but called a ball outside, 2-1. Brian Ham gave Jackson Volley the chance to get the complete game. It just didn't work out. Ryan Earl, who had given up the lead, there's a fly ball to center, and Yanni Thanopoulos has it for a 1-2-3 inning for Sam Schneider. So after 1/2 inning, no score in the ballgame. We'll come back with the Mammoths coming up to bat. Back in a bit. first coming up. Bottom of the first coming up. Max Steinhorn will lead things off with Harry Roberson and Yanni Thanopoulos. So Sam Schneider goes 1-2-3. As the wind appears to be picking up here at Memorial Field. It's been a spectacular day, and the wind is now shifted around. It seems to be blowing out to right field. Hugh Campbell with you on NSN Sports. Thanks again for joining us here on game number 2. Cardinals take game number 1, 7-6 in dramatic fashion. And Alex Olmsted is the pitcher for the Cardinals. And he played in game 1 as an outfielder. Hang on, let me see if I have that right. Second pitcher on center fielder. Yeah, he's a center fielder. So Ryan Earl doubling as the DH and pitcher, and Alex Olmsted played center field in the first game, is now pitching here in the second game. 5.64 ERA, a 2-1 record for him. This pitch on the way. It looks like a strike call, 1-2. Olmsted is a freshman from Palo Alto, California, so dual-purpose player here. That one's outside, so 2-2. We've learned that in the quarterfinals of men's lacrosse, Middlebury comes into Pratt Field and upsets the Mammoths 14-15, something like that. It was a 1-goal game, but the Middlebury prevails, the 7 seed. Amherst was the 3 seed. This one's lifted to right field. Chance here for the right fielder, and is it fair? It's foul. Close to the line. And we've figured out the music that Max Steinhorn walks up to the plate. The intro music, Max's mother was kind enough to come over to the tent here and fill me in. Apparently it's the theme music to the Netflix show Narcos. Now, if it was Game of Thrones, I would have known it instantly, but Narcos I'm not familiar with. It sounds a lot like The Godfather. 2-2 count, and a ground ball to second base. Over to first, just in time. I tell you, Johnny Corning, no bigger play in game 1 than Johnny Corning. And the play at second base on Will Murphy's bullet with runners at second and third. You can say what you want about Ryan Earl's 2-run bomb, but it was Corning who really saved the game, I thought. So 1 away in the inning. Harry Roberson coming up. Shortstop from Arlington, Massachusetts. 2 for 4 in game number 1. This pitch is a ball. Second pitch is a ball as well. So 2-0 on Harry Roberson. It's not a winner-take-all game, but it's pretty close, simply because if Wesleyan can win this game and go to 6-5 and drop Amherst to 7-5, they'll have a make-up game against Hamilton. If they win that, they'll be 7-5, but they will have the head-to-head against the Mammoths, and they will knock them out of the playoff spot. It'll be Middlebury and Wesleyan going to the playoffs. So it's not quite winner-take-all, but it's pretty close. 3-0. 3-1. There are some changes to the Wesleyan lineup. We'll get to those. Here's a line drive to center that it will fall. Gets in front of A.J. Ferreira. And Robeson's on his way to third base. He's going to have a shot here, and he will get in standing up. A triple for Harry Roberson. A.J. Ferreira is the center fielder. So Amherst with the runner at third base. Less than 2 outs, and Yanni Thanopoulos coming up. 2 for 4 in his first game. The first game of this doubleheader. So Amherst looking to jump on board here quickly. So his pitch is a ball, and the catcher, that's David Keith. Yes, it is, David Keith. held it there for a good couple of seconds, but didn't get the call. There's a strike, 1-1. Roberson at third. Yep, Thanopoulos at the plate. There's only one out, 1-1 count to Yanni Thanopoulos. Anthony Spina will follow as the DH. Oh, swing and a miss. Out front of that one. He was fooled. So 1-2. Military Appreciation Day here at Memorial Field. Also Senior Day. We'll list those fellows for you. 2-2 the count. Roberson scampers back to third base. Third baseman is Tanner Fulkerson for the Cardinals. He's only a freshman. 2-2 on the way to Yanni Thanopoulos. That's out of play to the right. Foul ball. As you can hear in the background, the wind is starting to pick up. Down at third base, Fulkerson. Oh, bad throw. And in time, on the head-first slide, Yanni Thanopoulos. The throw drew Will O'Sullivan off the bag. Really no chance to make the play. Thanopoulos goes in head first. And coming in to score is Harry Roberson. Anthony Spina is up. Amherst jumps on top. 1-0 on the error to Tanner Fulkerson. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Alec Olmsted, big kid, 6'4", 205. Palo Alto, California, only a freshman. Throw back to first. Thanopoulos back in time. So the error proves crossly to Wesleyan here in the bottom of the first. Amherst gets a run across. Putting on the 0-1 to Anthony Spina. Bit of a pitch out. Thanopoulos not really running to second base. If Amherst wins this game, they will advance. There'll be no mystery to it. And a line drive to center. Anthony Spina gets by the center fielder, goes through his legs. So that's going to score a run as Thanopoulos comes in on the slide. So A.J. Ferrara, the junior from Northeastern Massachusetts, has that one go through his legs and all the way to the wall. So Spina's at second base. Single and an error, reaching second on the error. But it drives in a run. So 2-0. Mammoth have jumped on top. There's still only one out. Ariel Kinney, 2 for 3 in the game number 1. He's really started to heat up the bat. And we've got a conversation on the mound now. Cards down 2-0 here in a game they absolutely have to have. And as it turns out, Amherst has to have it as well. And we've got some darkening skies starting to move in. There wasn't any rain in the forecast. The rain was all this morning. So Ariel Kenny is up, the right fielder. 2 runs in here in the bottom of the first. There's the pitch on the way. That's in the dirt. Spina thought about trying to take third, but thinks better of it and gets back. Is Ariel Kenny. 1-1 count. 1-2. And now the 1-2 comes to the belt. Swing and fouled back by Kenny. Kenny, a junior from Chula Vista, California. Waiting on the 1-2 from Olmsted, taking plenty of time, giving Alex, struck him out. Kenny strikes out swinging, saying that Olmsted was giving a look over to Anthony Spina at second base. And now there are 2 outs in the inning, and Nick Nardone will come up with Spina at second. 2 runs in the inning. And Sam Schneider went 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Looked pretty good. So did Jackson Volley for 3 innings as well, and then he ran into some problems, but he's given a chance to win the game and just didn't happen. Credit Ryan Earl with the 2-run bomb. Next pitch on the way, and Olmsted fighting it to try and find that strike zone. 1-1. 1-1 pitch on the way. Pops straight up. Chance for the catcher. Makes the catch. That's the 3rd out of the inning. So 2-0 Amherst as we head to the top of the second. This is game 2 of a doubleheader. Wesleyan took the first one 7-6. Amherst leads at 2-0. Top of the second coming up. We'll be right back. It'll be Matt J, Ryan Earl, Danny Rose. In the top of the second for the Cardinals. Find themselves down 2-0. Amherst gets 2 across in the bottom of the first. And Sam Schneider back to work. 1-0 on Matt J. This one gets lifted across the first base line. 3 players chasing. Nobody can get it. And the second baseman, the first baseman, and the right fielder all converging on one spot. All were late. Runs the count to 1-1 on Matt J as the winds start to pick up here and the clouds are starting to move in. Pretty sure rain wasn't in the forecast this afternoon. 1-1 count. Schneider, left arm siding action there. 2-1. So 2 errors already on Wesleyan. 3-1 count now on Matt J. J went 2 for 4 in game number 1. And he walks. So Jay gets the walk. Ryan Earl will come up and put one out over the 365 marker out there in right center. In the top of the 7th, a 2-run job, and gave Wesleyan the 7-6 lead, and they hung on for the win. 0-1 to Ryan Earl Schneider, junior from Coronado, California. Fouls this one away behind. Lots of parents in town for senior weekend here. Senior day. Yanni Thanopoulos, Jackson Volley, Anthony Spina, Mike Castigli. Double play is not in order. And out at second base, as Matt J is a race there, and one out in the inning. Danny Rose now, the left fielder, was up. Went 0 for 3 in game number 1. That's the first out of the inning. And Schneider floats one up in there, left-hander. Off speed job. Second pitch is on its way, 2-0. The 2-0 was swung on and fouled away, so 2-1. Three and 1 the count on Danny Rose. Driven to left. Over the head of Ryan Harden to get over the wall for a ground rule double. And stopping at third base is Ryan Earl. So Danny Rose comes up with a double off Sam Schneider to give the Cardinals a threat here. Runners at second and third, less than 2 outs. A.J. Ferrara is the center fielder. Did not play in game number 1, left-hand batter. Batting .242 on the season. So the Cardinals with a chance to get a run or two here. In the top of the second, they are down 2-0. Amherst with 2 runs in the bottom of the first. 1-1 count. Bunting. Chance for Tochi. Makes the catch. And a throw down to third base. Getting back in time is Earl. going to bring up Nick Maselli. Nick Maselli is the catcher. Well, he's wearing number 11, so I'm not sure what that is Nick Maselli. It would be given Nick Maselli. He wears number 19, but it's number 11. And if that's number 11, that should be David Keith. So unless Maselli has changed uniforms with Keith, I'm going to go with Keith. I think it's David Keith. But we've been given Nick Maselli as the catcher. But that's definitely number 11. One count to David Keith. I think it's David Keith. It could be Nick Maselli. I'm not sure. It's just popped up in the infield. Chase Henley can't get there. It's popped out past the first base side. It's announced as Nick Maselli. It's in the live stats as Nick Maselli. But he's wearing number 19, and this is definitely number 11, who is David Keith, who played in game number 1. So I don't know. One and two. I'll see if I can get clarification between innings from our sports information department. 1-2 on David Keith. Maybe. Allegedly. 2-2 count. 2 outs in the inning. Runners at second and third. A.J. Ferrara has had a tough start to this game. 2 errors in the outfield and popped out to the catcher. The runners at second and third. This one's fouled away. And they'll do it once more. 2-2. Sam Schneider back to work. This one's fouled away. Got some Wesleyan fans to my left. I'm going to ask them. All right, 2-2 count. 2 out, 2 on. 2-0. Mammoths. There's a ground ball to third base. Nick Nardone. Throw over to Chase Henley, and that'll do it. 2 runners left on for the Cardinals, but Amherst still leads 2-0. We'll be back. I'll get clarification on who the catcher is. Hugh Campbell with you. This is NSN Sports. All right, bottom of the second coming up, Ryan Hahn. I do have an explanation on the catcher controversy here. And it's actually kind of funny. We'll get to that in a moment. Ryan Harden leads off. We're in the bottom of the second. 2-0 lead for Amherst College, and don't tell me it's going to rain. Are you kidding me? 1-0 on Ryan Harden. Chase Henley, Severino Tochi will follow. Alec Olmsted is the pitcher. 1-1 count. Strike called, so 1-2. Olmsted gave up 2 runs in the first inning. Again, to set the situation for you, you're late to the game here. It's outside, so 2-2. Amherst if Amherst wins this game, they will advance to the NESCAC playoffs with Middlebury finishing 1-2. Here's a ground ball to the shortstop, Ellis Schaefer. Over to first. No, not in time. Oh my. Oh my. And Willow Sullivan's looking at the dugout very incredulously. And now the head coach coming out to have a word. Mark Woodworth, he's not convinced that was the right call, and frankly it looked pretty close, but I thought he got him. So Ryan Harden legs out a single. Chase Henley's up, the first baseman. First ball's on its way, it's a ball. Ball 1 to Chase Henley. Youngster from Pleasanton, California. One for 2 in game 1 and hit by a pitch. And there goes my paperwork all over the place. Mike, I'll get it later. Don't worry about it. Yeah. 3-0 count on Chase Henley as we try to chase paperwork down here. And that may have hit him. So Henley's going to get the walk. I'm going to give him the walk instead of the hit by pitch. Not quite sure. So 2 on, nobody out. And again, Olmsted trying to work around trouble. Yeah, all right. Yeah, Team Secrets is, yeah, sure. Just throw it under here, Mike. Keep it from blowing around here. Thanks. Severino Tochi at the plate with 2 on and nobody out, and Alex Olmsted trying to work out of trouble for the second consecutive inning. Pitch on the way. The bunt is on. O'Sullivan reads it over to third, out there, so they get the lead runner. Nicely done by O'Sullivan to the third baseman, Tanner Fulkerson. So the lead runner erased. A good bunt by Tochi, but a bit too hard, and well read by O'Sullivan. It makes the throw over to third to get the out. Max Steinhorn will lead off with 1 out. He is the leadoff hitter. Fouls this one over the Wesleyan dugout. In the bottom of the second, there are 4 hits and 2 runs for the Mammoths, Cardinals. 1 hit and 2 errors. Pitch on the way, looked pretty good. Strike called, but Max Steinhorn disagrees. Turns away aghast at the call. And now Brian Ham goes down and says something to the home plate umpire. That's Tom Carey, I believe. Oh, 2 count to Steinhorn. And a ground ball to second. Corning. Over to first. They get the... Oh, safe again. Oh, wow. Oh, my. Steinhorn can fly down the line, but I thought that throw was true as well for the double play. They did not get the call, so Henley goes down to third base. And Hard is erased at second. That's the second call at first base they thought the Cards should have gotten, but do not. Let's see if they appeal. All right, so 2 outs. Henley at third base now. Pitch on the way. That's in there for a strike. 0-1. Off-speed pitch hits the corner. Harry Roberson at the plate. Oh, runner is going, and he'll steal without a throw. Max Steinhorn down to second base. No throw by the catcher. It is Nick Maselli. We've confirmed that. Nick Maselli is the catcher. In fact, he was the catcher in game 1, but nobody knew. We called him David Keith the entire game. And that's because he is wearing number 11. That's a foul ball. So the mystery's been solved. It is Nick Maselli who is catching wearing number 11, which is actually David Keith's uniform. So there's a reason for that, which I will not disclose. But it turned out Nick Maselli played the first game as well, but nobody knew. He was announced as David Keith the entire game, and that's the way I called it. So at least we've got it right for the second game. 1-2 count on Harry Roberson. Up and away. 2-2. We're in the second game of the doubleheader. Wesleyan, in dramatic fashion, takes game 1, 7-6. Henley at third. Olmstead wanted that call, did not get it, so runs the count full, 3-2. 2 outs in the inning. And now the 3-2. Walked him. So Roberson walks. That's going to bring up Yanni Thanopoulos. And of course the Cardinals are thinking they should be out of the inning. Thanopoulos reached on an error his first time up. Pitch is up and away, so 1-0. Pitch, strike called. So 1-1 on Yanni Thanopoulos, one of the seniors. Next pitch is on the way, and it's ball 2. And the Wesleyan dugout are having some issues with the home plate umpire here. Strike call, 2-2. Some issues with the first base umpire as well. Two outs. Henley still at third base. Down at second is Max Steinhorn. And Harry Roberson is at first. So the bases are loaded, and it's a 2-2 count with 2 outs for Yanni Thanopoulos. Amherst leads at 2-0 in the bottom of the second. And Olmsted frankly, has struggled. And a ground ball to third base, stabbed there by Fulkerson. And is it foul? Yes, it's foul. Two pitch, outside, ball 3. So nowhere to put Thanopoulos, and a 3-2 count. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss, got him. Alex Olmsted rears back and gets the out, leaving the bases loaded, and it's still 2-0 Amherst. We'll be back for the top of the third when we come back. Hugh Campbell with you. This is NSN Sports. Stay with us. 2-0 Mammoths. Top of the third coming up, Tanner Fulkerson, Johnny Corning, Ellis Schaefer. First pitch is a strike from Sam Schneider. Next pitch on the way is a ball. Two and one now to Tanner Fulkerson. He's only a freshman from Longmont, Colorado. Outside 3-1. Schneider spotted to a 2-run lead in the bottom of the first. This one's ripped foul, so 3-2. Three-two count. Strike three got him looking. Top of the order coming up. It's going to be Johnny Corning, Ellis Schaefer, and Will O'Sullivan if anybody gets on. Corning lined out to short his first time up. Off-speed pitch hits the outside corner. Strike one for Sam Schneider. It's the 0-1. This is popped up. Tochi has no play on the ball. Oh, 2 count. Ground ball to first base. Chase Henley, easy play. Steps on the bag, one away. It's going to ring up Ellis Schaefer.
The other ones are open. The other ones? The other ones should be. Yeah, they were at least.
2 outs in the inning. And Ella Schaefer is at the plate. Two for 4 in game number 1 for Ella Schaefer. As the wind is starting to bring some stuff around here. Clouds behind us. Field is getting a little on the dark side here. 2-1 count. Swing and foul back to Schaefer. Got a feeling, Mike, we're going to be here a while, and we're going to be in near darkness by the time we get to the 9th inning. 2-2 count, 2 outs. Driven to right field. Ariel Kenny is there to make the catch. That ends the inning. Or the half inning, at least, anyway. Amherst coming up to bat. 2-0 when we come back for the bottom of the 3rd. NSN Sports Day with us. Anthony Spina, Ariel Kenny, Nick Nardone, the next 3 up for the Mammoths. Still struggling with the Mammoths. I'm trying to make it work. 2-0, Amherst College. One's outside, so 1-0. Alec Olmsted back out there. And has been all over the map here through 2 innings. Oh, this one's tipped by Spina, so that's a foul. 1-1. Ladies lacrosse played Middlebury very tough today. Lose 8-7 up at Middlebury. They were the 8th seed, Middlebury the number 1 seed, so they made it very close. Men got upset by Middlebury here. 7th seed were the Panthers. Amherst was the 3 seed. Make that the 3 seed for Amherst and the 6th seed for the Panthers. Ground ball is Schaefer over to first base. Low throw, but dug out by O'Sullivan. So Spina grounds out to short for the first out. That'll bring up Ariel Kenny, who has really been hitting well here the last 2 or 3 weeks. Had a terrible Florida trip, but has really picked things up dramatically here in the last couple of weeks. And this one is driven to center field. And underneath it is A.J. Ferrara. He makes the catch for 2 outs. So this is exactly what Olmsted needs, is a quick inning. If he can get the 3rd out in quick order, he'll be premature about things. Then Nick Nardone will try to get on. Nick popped out to the catcher his first time up. First pitch is on the way. It's a strike. Oh, 1. That's a ball. So 1-1. Nardone, a sophomore from Fairfield, Connecticut. NESCAC Player of the Week a few weeks back. in baseball. 2-1 the count. Batting on the 2-1 from Alec Olmsted, center field in game 1. There's ball 3, so 3-1. And 2 quick outs. The last thing he wants to do is walk a batter and prolong the inning. Nardone gets on. It's going to be Ryan Harden, who infield single his first time up. And a line to left. That's going to get down. Hits the wall. And Nick Nardone's going to have a double standing up. So Ryan Harden will indeed get a chance to bat with 2 outs here. And a shot by Nick Nardone down the left field line. Puts him at second base. Pitch on the way. That's ball 1. Nick Maselli, the imposter, wanted the call, didn't get it. There's ball 2. So Olmsted trying to work out of trouble for a 3rd inning, albeit Nardone at second base with 2 outs. 2-0 count on Ryan Harden. And Harden lifts this one to right center. Let's see who's got it. Oh, and a spectacular catch by the right fielder, Matt Jay. Oh, that would have brought in another run for sure, but Jay gets up high, makes the catch, and preserves zeros on the board for the 2nd straight inning. Top of the 4th coming up. Hugh Campbell with you. This is NSN Sports, 2-0 Mammoths. Back in a moment. All right, Will O'Sullivan, Matt Jay, and Ryan Earl, the next 3 up in the top of the 4th for the Cardinals. They are down 2-0. And Sam Schneider is the reason for that, giving up 1 hit in the game so far. First pitch is a strike, second pitch is a ball. And the 1-1. Schneider's got that sidearm action. Seems to mix it up nicely. Count goes to 1-2. Sullivan leans off that, so it's 2-2. 2-2 count, 2-0 Sullivan. That's in the dirt, so it's going to run the count full to 3-2. the 3-2. Driven into center. So O'Sullivan gets a leadoff hit for the Cardinals here in the top of the 4th inning. Situation is this: if Amherst wins this game, they will advance to the playoffs with Middlebury. If Wesleyan wins this game, they will have to play a make-up game against Hamilton, and if they win that game, they will advance in front of Amherst. If they lose that game against Hamilton, Amherst will advance. So both teams have to have this game. This is driven to right. Ariel Kenny gets underneath, makes the catch, and that holds O'Sullivan at first base. One away in the inning. I mean, the last thing Amherst wants to do is rely on Hamilton to try and beat Wesleyan in a one-game playoff situation. I mean, it's just fraught with peril. You have no idea what could happen. Hamilton could win the game, yeah, but you certainly don't want to... oh, here's a throw into center field. Sullivan's going to get to third base. Sullivan took off for second, and Tochi's throw was high into center field, and now Sullivan's at third base, 1 out. So to conclude the situation, Amherst does not want to be waiting around for Hamilton to try and knock off Wesleyan for them to advance. One-on-one count now on Ryan Earl, the designated hitter. 2-run homer in the top of the 7th in game number 1 to give the Cardinals the win. And it was a jack. It was out of here. Right now he's just trying to get that run in from third base any way he can. That's Will O'Sullivan there. Count runs to 2-1. Floats that one in, strike called, 2-2. So Sam Schneider mixing his pitches up, various speeds. Pitch on the way. This is driven to left. And this falls in front of Ryan Harden, so O'Sullivan's going to come home. So 1 run on the board for the Cardinals, and it's 2-1. Danny Rhodes, the left fielder. So the errant throw into center by the catcher, Severino Tochi. And this one gets through the left over the glove of Nick Nardone. Not softly hit, but Nardone had to reach to his left and it went over his glove. Counts as a single nonetheless. A.J. Ferrara. It looks like Jordan Tabakman, the pitching coach, is out to have a word with Sam Schneider. There's 1 out in the inning, and the Cards have 2 runners on. Rose is at first base, and Ryan Earl is at second. And we've got a pinch hitter, I think, number 33 coming into the game. Colin Andrews, a junior from Chicago, Illinois. So Colin Andrews coming in. In place of A.J. Ferrara, who came in to replace Alec Olmstead, who played in game 1 at center field. So Andrews into the game. And takes a strike. Andrews batting .333, so not too bad for aluminum bats. A 1 count. Off-speed pitch misses. Cardinals are going to run in here, top of the fourth. Amherst still leads it 2-1, but Wesleyan with 2 runners on, first and second. 1-1 pitch coming up to Colin Andrews. Did he go around? A strike anyway. So 1-2. Another 1-2 from Sam Schneider, who started today's game. Second game of a double header. Jackson Volley went all the way in game 1. Hard luck loser because of Ryan Earl's 2-run homer. And then Amherst had 2 runners on. Second and third, less than 2 outs and couldn't get the run in. Mostly because Johnny Corning made a spectacular play at second base. Schneider steps off the mound. Of course, that gets the balk calls from the dugout. Pitch on the way, off speed, outside. So 2-2. Out in the inning, 2 runners on. Andrews swings and pops this one up foul. This is the last home game for Amherst. Actually, that's not true. We've got one more. Next Wednesday against UMass Boston. At Brandeis, UMass Boston here. At Bowdoin, at Colby for a doubleheader next Saturday. Swing and a miss, got him. Big out for Sam Schneider. So Nick Maselli, wearing number 11. They'll try to get some runs in here. But now with 2 outs. A big out by Sam Schneider. Maselli grounded out to third. First time up. And under the alias of David Keith, Andrew Keith, he went 1 for 3 in game number 1. Comes the 1-0 with 2 outs to Nick Maselli. Maselli drives this one to center. Nobody's going to get it. And another run's going to come in. And a double. Charging home for the 3rd run is Danny Rose. So a double by Nick Maselli drives in 2, and the Cardinals lead it 3-2. That's a 2-out clutch double by Nick Maselli. That gives the Cardinals the lead. Schneider, first pitch on the way is a strike. Comes the 0-1. Nick Maselli, big double. 2 outs. Tochi frames the pitch. No ball, says the home plate umpire. Runs the count to 1-1. There's a strike across the knees, just on the outside corner from Schneider. Makes it 1-2. 2 outs in the inning, of course. And a big clutch 2-out double by Nick Maselli to drive in 2. And Wesleyan has a 3-2 lead. Warming up in the bullpen is number 37. 31, excuse me, that's Wilson Taylor. Sophomore from San Antonio, Texas. 1-2 pitch on the way. Off speed, grounded to Harry Roberson. Over to first base. That'll do it, but the Cards take the lead 3-2 as we head to the bottom of the fourth. This is NSN Sports. We'll be right back. Chase Henley, Severino Tochi, and top of the order comes up with Max Steinhorn. So Alec Olmsted now has a 1-run lead as he heads into the bottom of the fourth. This pitch on the way is a strike. So Olmsted worked in and out of trouble his first 3 innings. And this is his 4th inning of work. So 0-1 the count. 0-2 the count on Chase Henley. Henley, a Californian. There's a few of those on the Amherst roster. And check swing foul from Henley this time, so 0-2. Comes the 0-2. Up and away, so 1-2. Still no action in the Cardinal bullpen. Wilson Taylor was throwing around for the Mammoths. And check swing. Did he go around? Yes. So Henley strikes out. It's going to bring up Severino Tochi. Grounded out in a bunt his last time up. Freshman from Weston, Massachusetts. This pitch from Olmsted is a ball. And the 1-0. Yeah, strike 1-1 now. Looks like my internet's going down. Oh, so 1-2. Three-two Cardinals. 3 runs in the top of the fourth. Mike Olmsted trying to preserve the lead. Tochi swings. Healthy cut by Severino Tochi, but just gets a foul. Military Appreciation Day here at Amherst College. Also Senior Day. And the 1-2 from Olmsted. Ooh, close call, the ball. 2-2. Again, the catcher framing it. Nick Maselli framing that ball in the dugout, jumping up and down. Two count. Swing and a miss. So Olmsted has struck out the first two batters here in the bottom of the fourth, and it's going to bring up Max Steinhorn, who has fly to right and an infield single. So for the second straight inning, Alec Olmsted has gotten the first two batters in short order. But with 2 outs, it's where he has run into some problems. Two and 0 to Max Steinhorn. Top of the order up now for Amherst. Steinhorn, Roberson, and Thanopoulos to follow if Max can get on. Each team with an error. 2-0 count. Strike one. The 2-1. That's called a ball. So 3-1. So Steinhorn trying to get on here. And the 3-1 count from Alec Olmsted. Driver to center. Steinhorn reaches. So he is 2 for 3. And the pattern continues for Alec Olmsted. Gets the first 2 outs rather quickly and then seems to run into trouble. Harry Roberson now tripled and walked. And Olmsted running into the meat of the order here shortly. If he can't get Roberson for whatever reason, it's going to be Thanopoulos, Spina, and Kenny. This pitch on the way is low, so ball one. Two outs in the inning. Steinhorn is attempting to steal, and he's in there safely. Yes, he is. So another stolen base for Max Steinhorn. That's his 14th of the year. He is a threat to steal anytime he gets on. Just showed you why. So now a runner in scoring position for Harry Roberson with 2 outs. Alec Olmsted and a 2-0 count. Make it a 3-0 count. And the 3-0. Walked him. So the second consecutive walk for Harry Roberson is going to bring up Yanni Thanopoulos with 2 outs. And 2 on. Yanni reached in an error, struck out his last time up. And again, Olmsted gets the first 2 outs and can't seem to get the next one without some difficulty. Strike call to Yanni Thanopoulos. And Yanni is capable of putting this over the fence. And now the 0-1. Thanopoulos drives this to right, but it's going to be at the right fielder, Matt J. That'll do it. So once again, Olmsted works out of trouble. 3-2 Cardinals. We come back. It'll be the bottom. It'll be the top of the fifth. Top of the fifth when we come back. Back in a moment. Top of the order coming up for the Cardinals. They lead at 3-2. New pitcher on the mound for Amherst College, Wilson Taylor, the sophomore from San Antonio, Texas. A 7.4 ERA, 24.1 innings, a 1-2 record in 7 appearances. Wilson Taylor. Top of the order, Johnny Corning, Ellis Schaefer, Will O'Sullivan. And a ground ball back to Taylor, bobbles it, but will tag the runner, and he is out. So 1 away for the Cardinals here in the top of the fifth. Wilson Taylor doing it himself rather than flipping over to the first baseman. So bring up Ellis Schaefer, grounded out to second and lined out to right. 2 times up today in game number 2. First pitch is high and away. 1-0. 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Cardinals. 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Mammoths. Here's the pitch to Corning, the ground ball to Roberson. Up with it over to Headley, and there's 2 away. So just like that for Wilson Taylor. 2 outs in the inning. It's going to bring up Will O'Sullivan. Flied out to center and singled. 5:17 here on the East Coast, and it's getting a bit dark here. And we're in the top of the fifth. Will O'Sullivan. There's ball 1. There's ball 2. Three 2 Cardinals, top of the fifth. 2 outs in the inning. There's ball 3. So Will O'Sullivan. I don't know if Taylor's trying to pitch around him. There's nobody on base. Well, four straight pitches, and they were not close. So bring up Matt J. Walked and fly to right. He's a junior from Holliston, Massachusetts. First pitch is a ball to Matt J., the right fielder. A spectacular catch in game number 1. And fouls this one away, so 1-1. And now the 1-1 count. It's short and in the dirt. So 2-1. O'Sullivan is at first base. There's 2 outs in the inning, and they were gotten rather quickly. But again, Wilson Taylor looking to bear down here and get out number 3 without any further damage. 2-1. 3-1. And Ryan Earl, who's up next, is not the man you want to see at the plate with runners on base. A 2-run bomb by Earl in game number 1. It ends up being the game winner in the top of the 7th with 2 outs. And 3-2 count now. Swing and foul back. Payoff pitch coming up for Wilson Taylor. 2 outs in the inning. Swing and a miss, got him. Fouled and held on to by Severino Tochi. So Wilson Taylor comes back to get Matt J, and that ends the inning. 3-2 Cardinals. Bottom of the 5th coming up. Be right back. This is NSN Sports. Hugh Campbell is my name. Back in a moment. All right, bottom of the 5th, it's going to be Anthony Spina, Ario Kinney, and Nick Nardone. Anthony Spina singled his first time up and then took second on an error and grounded out to short. So 1-4-2. And it is Alec Olmsted back out for another inning of work. Still no action in the Cardinal bullpen. Olmsted has worked in and out of trouble all game. This pitch is a ball, so 1-0 to Spina. Anthony Spina, one of the seniors being honored today. In fact, here's the list. Yanni Thanopoulos, Jackson Volley, Anthony Spina, George Long, and Sergio Rodriguez. 2-0 to Anthony Spina. Swing and foul back, and boy, Spina was trying to put that into the parking lot. Swung so hard his helmet fell off as he spun around. He was trying to put that on the soccer field. As the wind has really picked up considerably here at Memorial Field. We're in the second of the doubleheader. And the wind is really swirling about. This one's fouled away, so 2-2. Overcast skies, gray skies moving in. It was sunny a couple of hours ago. Two count to Anthony Spina. No, he thought about it, but laid off. 3-2. Each team has an error. 2 runs in the bottom of the first for Amherst. 3 runs in the top of the fourth for Wesleyan. That's it, 3-2. Swing and a miss, got him. Got him swinging. Let's bring up Ariel Kenny, the right fielder. Struck out and flied to center. So Olmsted giving his team a chance here. They need to win flat out. Amherst wins this game, they will advance, and if Wesleyan wins, they'll have to wait to see if Hamilton could beat them in a makeup game. One-0 count to Ariel Kenny. 2-0 count. That's high, up around the shoulders. Getting cooler too. Pitch on the way, swing and a miss. 2-1. So Olmsted seems to have that ability to rear back and bring the fastball when he needs it. 4 strikeouts on the game. 5 strikeouts now with Spina. This one's lifted. First baseman's going to have a shot at it. O'Sullivan swirling about, makes the catch. Nicely done by O'Sullivan. It's going to bring up Nick Nardone with nobody on. Popped out to the catcher and doubled to left field. So 1-4-2 is Nick. Third baseman. And this is driven to left. This has got a chance to get out. And it's caught by the center fielder. Oh my, that dipped. 33 out there, Colin Andrews with a nice play. Boy, they thought that ball was going to carry it. It just dipped at the last moment, and Andrews camped underneath it to make the out. Boy, that had a chance, but not to be. And we'll come back to the top of the 6th with Wesleyan still leading at 3-2. Back in a moment. Ryan Earl, Danny Rose, Colin Andrews, the next three batters. And it's going to be Wilson Taylor back out for a second inning of work in relief of Sam Schneider. Cardinals lead at 3-2. All three runs coming in the top of the fourth. Amherst getting both of their runs in the bottom of the first. 2-0 count to Ryan Earl, and Ryan Earl was the hero of the Cardinals in game number one, without a question. Came in to pitch in relief of the starter, which was Ethan Rohde. Had a lead, gave up the lead, then comes up to bat and puts a two-run jack out and gets the lead back, and they hold on. And he pitched the seventh inning, too. 2-1 count to Ryan Earl. Strike called, so 2-2. Wind has picked up, temperature has dropped. Wind seems to be blowing straight out to right field now. 2-2 count. Well, it wasn't a 2-2 count. It must have been a 3-2 count because he walked. All right. So leadoff walk for Wilson Taylor brings up Danny Rose, the left fielder, doubled and singled, so it's 2 for 2 today. First pitch is a ball, so 1-0. That's outside, 2-1, 2-0 rather. And Robeson comes in to have a chat with Taylor. Two-0 count, swing and a miss. It's the home plate umpire. That has to hurt. Seems like he's okay, though. It's Tom Carey back there. Now it's a 2-1 count to Danny Rose. And now the 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Scoreboard says 2-1. Pretty sure it's 2-2 because he swung and missed on 2 occasions. And one was a foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ooh, very close. And Taylor wants it, but not getting it. Very close. And now Tochi turns around, has a word. Chatting out of the side of his mouth again. Runs the count to 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Danny Rose. And he walks. So second consecutive walk for Wilson Taylor. Is going to bring up Colin Andrews, who came in as a substitute for A.J. Ferrara, who started the game. And struck out swinging in his first at bat. It looks like George Long is going to get loosened up again. Loosened up quite a bit in game 1, was not brought in. Looks like he might be brought in here in game 2 at some point. Wilson Taylor, 2 walks, so 2 on, nobody out. And the Cardinals leading this one 3-2. We're in the top of the 6th. Taylor steps off, brings all the balk calls out of the dugout. Pitch on the way. It's bunted. Foul. Nick Nardone lets it fall foul. Had a chance to get underneath the ball, but really too short for him. Try to get the out. I'll do it one more time. Should be 0-1 on Colin Andrews. Pitch on the way. Another bounce attempt. This one is no good either, so 0-2. So Andrews doing his best to try and get these runners along, but so far 0-2. He tries that again, he's going to be out. If it doesn't fall fair. Might be forced to try and swing away here. Count is 0-2 on Colin Andrews. 2 runners on, nobody out. Swing and a miss, got him. So Andrews strikes out for the second time in a row. And it's going to bring up Nick Maselli, the mystery man, the catcher. Grounded out to third and doubled his last time up. Nick Maselli, a senior from West Hartford, Connecticut. One out in the inning, a big out too by Wilson Taylor. First pitch on the way is a strike. No balls, 1 strike to Nick Maselli. Strike 2, so 0-2 now. There's Taylor trying to get the second out of the inning. And if a double play presents itself, it'll be the third out. Pitch on the way, 0-2. Swing and a miss, got him. Huge out for Wilson Taylor. Now 2 outs in the inning. And running still at first and second. It's going to bring up Tanner Fulkerson, third baseman. Struck out looking his first time and grounded out to short. So 0-2. And Taylor, a chance to get out of this inning with no damage at all, despite walking the first 2 batters. Ball 1 to Fulkerson. Fulkerson's only a freshman from Longmont, Colorado. (3-2) Wesleyan. That's ball 2, so 2-0 to Fulkerson. And Fulkerson swings. Robeson steps on the bag. That'll do it. So Wilson Taylor works out of trouble. And we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Wesleyan still leads at 3-2. Back in a moment. Okay, Ryan Hyde and Chase Henley and Severino Tochi trying to get something going here in the bottom of the 6th. Cardinals still lead at 3-2. Alec Olmsted has gone all the way and he's back out there for a 6th inning of work. Ball 1 to Ryan Harden. Fouled back by Harden this time, all the way back, and by the hockey rink. Big news in the NESCAC this week. Football moving to a 9-game schedule. How about that? Each team will play each other. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Blew that one right by him. Harden struggled to keep up. Yeah, 9-game season. Each team will play each other at least once. Should bring about a true season champion. Struck him out looking. Chase Henley walked and struck out 2 times at bat. Amherst went 8-0 a couple of seasons in a row. And I think one of those seasons they were co-champions with Middlebury, maybe? Trinity, maybe? Maybe Trinity. Swing and a miss. So this way they'll have to produce a winner. There'll be no co-nothing. Strike calls 0-2, so Olmsted gets Harden and has Henley 0-2 in the hole. Pitch on the way, that's up. That's a ball, so 1-2, and Henley lays off. But that's a big deal because the main teams, this is foul back into the dugout of Amherst College, so it remains 1-2. Anyway, the main teams, Bates, Bowden, and Colby. That's the other one I was thinking of, Colby. I think, they're always playing Amherst, Trinity, Wesleyan, Middlebury. I think they are somewhat adversely affected. But Bowden is not known for its football. It's known for everything else except football. I don't know if that helps or hinders them. Probably helps them, I think. Oh, they called him out. Said he went around on the 1-2, held up by Henley, but called out. So Henley, he strikes out, swinging on the check swing. And now there's 2 outs in the inning, and Severino Tochi, as I'm talking about football, there's 2 outs in the inning. Swing and a miss. So Olmsted's got a rush of adrenaline here. And it's throwing some heat. We're in the 6th. 3-2 Cardinals. Look pretty good, but called a ball. 1-1. That's ball 2. Another one that Olmsted wanted, did not get. Now, Tochi can get on back to the top of the order for the Mammoths. It'll be Steinhorn, Robus, and Thanopoulos maybe. Well outside, so count runs to 3-1. But Tochi's going to look for one here. I'll see if he's taking it all the way otherwise. taking all the way, takes a strike, so 3-2. Looked like a breaking ball from Olmsted on that occasion, gets it over. Payoff pitch coming. Nobody on. Driven to center by Tochi. And Tochi gets on with the single. Is indeed going to bring up the top of the order, Max Steinhorn. And a ground ball to left field that gets through. Gets past the shortstop. So now there's 2 on with 2 outs. And Harry Roberson, who's walked twice in this game, is up with runners at first and second. So 2 quick outs by Olmsted and a single, 2 singles. And looks like there's some action in the bullpen, so Wesleyan might be getting a pitching change here. We'll stay with it for a moment, find out what's going on. "3-2 Cardinals." They might be just stalling for time here to get their pitcher ready. Let's see if they give Olmsted a chance to get out of the inning. There's 2 on with 2 outs. Yeah, they're going to do that too. They're going to give Olmsted a chance. He's looking at the bullpen though. So is he just stalling for time? No, apparently not. Okay, so here we go. Harry Robeson's at the plate. Steinhorn's at first. Tochi is at second. And there are 2 outs in the inning. First pitch is a strike off speed. That's in there. 0-1. Cardinals lead at 3-2. On the bottom of the 6th. And stabbed at second, over to first, out. Johnny Corning makes another spectacular play at second base to save a run. Cardinals lead at 3-2. We'll go to the top of the 7th when we come back. This is NSN Sports. Stay with us. Top of the order coming up for the Cardinals. They get out of the inning. 2 runners left on for Amherst College. Johnny Corning, who made the play at second base, is up to bat. 0 for 3 on the day. A couple of ground outs and a line out to short. Ellis Schaefer, Will O'Sullivan to follow. Wilson Taylor back out on the mound. Strike one called to Johnny Corning. I know Ryan Earl hit the home run in game number 1 to give the Cards the win, but gee whiz, Corning's play at second base to prevent Amherst from getting the tying run was perhaps the absolute key play of the game. One count to Johnny Corning. And this is going to fall into right field. It's going to bloop over the first baseman. And so Corning gets on with a single. And Ellis Schaefer is up. He's 0 for 3, grounded out twice and lined out to right. Schaefer, a senior from Newtown Square, Pennsylvania. Throw over to first. Pitch on the way in the bunt. Nardone over to second base in time. Yes. So the lead runner is erased. Well done by Nick Nardone to anticipate the bunt, jump in quickly, get it over to second base. And Max Steinhorn applying the tag in time. And Brian Ham out to have a word with the field umpire here. I'm not sure what this is about. Yeah, it was recorded at second. I'm not sure what Brian Ham is arguing here. So Will O'Sullivan is up. 1 out, 1 on. Strike called. So Schaefer's at first base. Corning erased at second. One and one. One pitch on the way from Wilson Taylor. Low and away, so 2 and 1. And Taylor steps off the mound, now resets. Swing and a miss on O'Sullivan. Runs the count to 2 and 2. Final home game of the season is next Wednesday. I think that's a 4 o'clock start here at Memorial Field against UMass Boston, non-conference game, and this ball gets away from Tochi, so down to second base is Ellis Schaefer. So a 3-2 count on Will O'Sullivan. And there's 1 out in the inning and 1 man at second base for the Cardinals. They lead it 3-2. Amherst got 2 runs in the bottom of the first. Nothing since. This one's popped up. Chase Henley's got a chance, and he comes over. Max Steinhold calls him off and makes the out. So O'Sullivan pops to second. And Matt Jay is going to come up. Struck out swinging fly to right and walked. Wesleyan got 3 runs in the top of the 4th. That's where we stand, 3-2. Swing and a miss here. Jay 0-1. It's the 0-1. And a squib at a second. Steinhorn will have it. Over to first base for the 3rd out. So still 3-2 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. In a game Wesleyan must have, in a game that Amherst would very much like to have, and do not want to rely on Hamilton to beat Wesleyan sometime next week, I guess. All right, 3-2 when we come back. Bottom of the 7th coming up. This is NSN Sports. Stay with us. All right, Yanni Thanopoulos, Anthony Spina, Ario Kinney. Immediately the order coming up for the Mammoths right now. And trying to get to Alec Olmsted, who's back out there for another try. He's been in and out of trouble, but heading out there for the bottom of the 7th. 3-2 lead. Strike called. 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for Wesleyan. 2 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Mammoths. It's 1-1 count to Yanni Thanopoulos. Fly to right, struck out swing and reached on an error. And 3 trips to the plate today. And this is ripped to right field. And see if he heads to second base. He does. Will he get there in time? And he will. Standing up. Leadoff double for Yanni Thanopoulos. Let's see if that brings some reaction from the Wesleyan bullpen, as it seems like Olmsted has gotten the first couple of outs and then has to work his way out of trouble. This time, leadoff batter at second base is Yanni Thanopoulos. Bring up Anthony Spina, senior from Brooklyn, New York. Struck out his last time up, grounded out to short, and singled, reaching on an error to second. Conversation at the mound. This could be a time staller here. There's Nick Maselli out to have a chat with Olmsted. There is some action in the bullpen for the Cardinals. No, we're going to leave Olmsted in there. Nobody coming out of the dugout, so leadoff double. And Anthony Spina at the plate. Wind picking up, it's blowing out to right field now. And Spina's capable of putting one out. Steps off the mound, brings the chorus of balk calls from the dugout. It's automatic. Thanopoulos at second. Pitch on the way. That's outside to Spina. I mean, if you're the Mammoths from Amherst College, I mean, you want to try and win this game somehow. I know it's hard to do. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm saying they should win. It's hard to do, but you do not want Hamilton to have the fate of your season in their hands. Oh, almost hit him. Spun out of the way, but almost hit him. So 2-0. Count. I'm guessing if Spina gets on, they're going to bring in a new pitcher. It's the 2-0. And lifted down the first base line. Foul. 2-1 to Anthony Spina. We're in the bottom of the seventh. Amherst down by a run here, 3-2. And Olmsted steps off the mound. Thanopoulos scurries back to second. Didn't really have a big lead anyway. Here's the 2-1 to Spina. Pitch on the way, 3-1. I'm going to guess that Anthony Spina is going to be taking all the way here to try to get on base. Three-one count. Strike called. So 3-2. To Anthony Spina, the designated hitter. Bright sunshine poking its way through here at Memorial Field. 3-2 count. Runner at second base is Yanni Thanopoulos. There's nobody out. Outside, ball 4. And Ario Kenny's got to come to the plate. And here comes the pitching change. So we're going to have a new Wesleyan pitcher when we come back. We'll take a quick break and be back with the new pitcher for you. Hugh Campbell with you. This is NSN Sports. It's 3-2 Wesleyan. Bottom of the seventh. Amherst has 2 men on and nobody out. Back in a moment. All right, we're back for the bottom of the 7th here. Alec Olmsted has left the game. Nobody out, and pitching is Ethan Rohde. Swing and a miss on Ariel Kenny. It's going to be Ariel Kenny, Nick Nardone, Ryan Harden. 2 men on. Yanni Thanopoulos at second. Anthony Spina is at first, but Ethan Rohde started game 1 of this doubleheader. Ryan Earl came in relief. So Rohde is pitching, started game 1, and is trying to get Alec Olmsted the win here in game number 2. Three-two Wesleyan. 2 runners on, nobody out for the Mammoths, and Ariel Kenny at the plate. Struck out, flied out, and popped out. Pitch on the way, that's high and inside. So 1-1 to Ariel Kenny. One pitch outside, so 2-1. Ethan Rohde started game 1, now coming in relief in game number 2. That's well outside, so it runs the count to 3-1. Thanopoulos at second. Spina is at first. Nobody out in the inning. Amherst down by a run. Kenny trying to change that. Here's the pitch on the way. Fly ball to center field. Colin Andrews out there. Thanopoulos thought about going to third, and he's held there. So 1 out in the inning. So Kenny flies out to center. And it's going to be Nick Nardone. There's the first out in the inning, so runners will hold. Thought Thanopoulos might have had a chance on the throw of Andrews. It was pretty good into the shortstop. Nardone, the third baseman. There's a double. Lined out and popped out. Ground ball. It is foul. Tanner Fulkerson ranging to his right, but the ball was foul. Oh, 1 count to Nick Nardone. Runners at first and second. There's 1 out. High and outside, so 1-1. Memorial Field bathed in bright sunshine now, but the temperatures dropped quite a bit. Down about 10 degrees it feels like. Late afternoon here in the Pioneer Valley. And a ground ball to third. Look out, step on the bag, over to first. The throw is errant, but they get the lead runner. Fulkerson steps on the bag, but his throw to first was not accurate. But 2 outs in the inning. And Ryan Harden will come up with 2 outs. Struck out looking his last time out, flat out to center, an infield single for Ryan. Oh, swing and a miss by Harden. Off-speed pitch by Rohde. And Harden way out in front. 1-1 count coming up to Ryan Harden. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled. So 0-2. So Harden in the hole. 0-2 to Rhodey. Has come on in relief of Alec Olmsted here in the bottom of the 7th, and the Cardinals still lead at 3-2. And the 0-2 count. Pitch on the way. Foul. Just got a piece of that to stay alive. I do it one more time. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. So Amherst threatens but do not score. We'll go to the top of the 8th. Wesleyan still leading 3-2 when we come back. This is NSN Sports. Stay with us. Ryan Earl, Danny Rose, and Colin Andrews are up for the Cardinals here in the top of the 8th, and they are clinging to a 3-2 lead. I mean clinging. Earl pops this one up, but foul. Reached on a fielder's choice, singled, and walked. One count to Ryan Earl, make it 1-2 as he fouls this one away. One, two. Struck him out looking, and Ryan Earl has some choice words for the home plate umpire. Knows enough to walk away very quickly, though. Strike him out there by Wilson Taylor. Danny Rose, the left fielder, doubled, singled, and walked. Fouls this one away. One count to Danny Rose. It's in there, strike two, so 1-2. Oh, 1. Swing and a miss. Got him. They'll throw down to first base just to make sure. Out there, 2 away. going to bring up Colin Andrews. Struck out twice in 2 at-bats. Came into the game for A.J. Ferrara at center field. Andrews puts one through into left field. Gets by Nick Nardone. So two quick outs for Wilson Taylor before Andrews reaches. And Nick Maselli, the catcher, is up next. Top of the 8th, and the Cardinals still lead at 3-2. All 3 runs coming in the top of the 4th. Amherst got their 2 runs in the bottom of the 1st. They've threatened on multiple occasions, but have yet to push across that 3rd run. Pitch on the way, bunt, and it's foul. A bold move there by Maselli with 2 outs. Now, don't play in regulation at third base, probably trying to catch him off guard. Two outs, 1 on for the Cardinals. They lead at 3-2. Strike called. So 0-2. Maselli in the hole now, 0-2. And now the 0-2, and steps off the mound. Oh, 2 count. That's outside, so 1-2. Next pitch on the way. It's grounded it to Robeson. Over to second base. Pulled off the bag. Off the bag. The second base umpire says pulled off the bag. Robeson got there in time as a tough throw to Steinhorn, who thought he got there in plenty of time, but apparently not. And a single for Nick Maselli. Tanner Fulkerson is up now. Struck out. A couple of ground balls to Harry Robeson short. Throw down to second, and Andrews gets back. So now, with 2 outs, the Cardinals threaten. Runners at first and second. This one's blooped to right. Let's see, Kenny has time. Yes, he makes the catch, and that'll do it. Go to the bottom of the 8th. Cardinals still lead at 3-2. We'll be right back. This is NSN Sports. Okay, Ethan Rohde back out there for another inning of work in relief of Alec Olmstead. Now, Ethan Rohde started in game number 1. So Chase Henley will lead off. Severino Tochi and Max Steinhorn. We're in the bottom of the 8th, and it's a 3-2 game. Wesleyan still leads it. It seems like Amherst has had multiple chances to push runs across, just haven't been able to do it. Here's Henley. Flies this one to right. And out there, Matt J. floats over, makes the catch. First ball swinging was Chase Henley. So Severino Tochi struck out, singled, and bunted into a ground ball. There's a 1-0 pitch there from Ethan Rohde. On the bottom of the 8th. Amherst scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 2nd, and that has been it. Strike called, so 1-1. Is the pitch on the way? That's high. So 2-1. I'm waiting on the 2-1 from Ethan Rohde. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. There's the count to 2-2. Tochi went fishing for that one. Well out in front. Here comes the 2-2. Inside, ball 3, 3-2. Amherst will play their final home game here against UMass Boston next Wednesday. 3-2 count coming up. Foul back. That's going to be a 4 p.m. start. In the meantime, they're at Brandeis on Tuesday, at Bowdoin on Friday the 5th, and at Colby for a doubleheader on Saturday the 6th. And that will round out the season. Those are non-divisional games against Bowdoin and Colby. This is the one that counts right here, and working a walk is Severino Tochi. Bring up Max Steinhorn, who's singled a couple of times. 3 times, in fact. And flight out to right, so he is 3-4-4. So 1 out in the inning. And Tochi draws a walk. Ethan Rohde. Action in the Cardinal bullpen. And drive to right. Sinking, but caught there by Matt J for 2 outs in the inning. It's going to bring up Harry Robeson. A couple of walks, a triple, and a grounded out to second. Tochi at first, 2 outs in the inning. Ethan Rohde pitching to Harry Robeson. This ball is down, so that's going to be ball 1. Cardinals lead at 3-2. Oh, close pitch. Wanted it. Didn't get it. So 2-0. Amherst got 2 runs in the bottom of the second. I thought, oh, hello, this looks easy. Nothing since. Alec Olmsted. Strike here, and in relief, Ethan Rohde. But Olmsted in and out of trouble all day and just managed to make pitches when it counted the most. And for Amherst, Sam Schneider started this one. Wilson Taylor. Here's a drive to left that gets through from Robeson. And it's a 2 on now with 2 out as Robeson singles to left field. Riani Thanopoulos struck out, flied out, doubled, and reached on an error. So Thanopoulos, he gets a hold of one. Could put the Mammoths up by a couple. Here's the pitch. Driven to left. That'll get through. There's a run. And let's take a look. There's Tochi crosses the plate. And Robeson's going to go home. No, he's coming back to third base. As the ball got away from Ellis Schaefer. So now the game is tied at 3. And the bottom of the 8th. And Robeson is at third base. There's 2 outs. As Thanopoulos doubles. And Anthony Spina with a chance here to put the Mammoths ahead. And if he can do that, Amherst will pitch in the top of the 9th to close out the game and clinch a playoff spot. Anthony Spina with the opportunity. Here we go. Ethan Rohde gives up the double to Yanni Thanopoulos. The run comes home. Robeson is the go-ahead run at third base. There are 2 outs in the inning, and the first ball is a ball, so ball 1 to Anthony Spina. And now the 1-0. Fouled back, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike to Anthony Spina. Robeson at third, Thanopoulos at second, 2 outs. Game is now tied at 3. And Rohde steps off the mound. Now, Ethan Rohde started the first game. In here in relief. Here's Spina, rips that one, but foul. Oh, wait a minute. The umpire's ruling foul, and Brian Ham at third base is waving everybody home. But that was fouled by a lot. That wasn't really close. So I'll have to do it over. One and 2 the count to Anthony Spina. Amherst wins this game. They clinch. 1-2 count coming up on Anthony Spina. Senior from Brooklyn, New York. Here we go. High. 2-2. Anthony had to duck underneath that one. Two pitch on the way. Driven into center by Anthony Spina. Roberson comes home. Yathanopoulos drives over the plate, down to second base, and he is out at second. They called out at second. Well, he's still there, maybe not. 2 runs in. The inning is not over. I guess Spina is safe at second base. The original call was out, but reversed. 5-3 Mammoths in the bottom of the 8th. Anthony Spina comes in with a huge 2-out hit. And gives the Mammoths a 5-3 lead. And we have a pitching change on the mound, so we'll come back after we get the new pitcher for you, but it's 5-3 Mammoths. We'll come back to the bottom of the 8th here in a moment. This is NSN Sports, 5-3 Mammoths, they lead it. All right, new pitcher for Wesleyan is Asher Young, senior from Amherst, Massachusetts, right here, the hometown boy. 3.10 ERA, 2-1 record, 13 appearances, 20 innings of action. Ground ball to first base. This should get him out of the inning. The damage done. Amherst gets 3 runs to take a 5-3 lead. We'll head to the top of the 9th. Amherst can close it out and clinch if they can get 3 outs before Wesleyan gets 2 runs. We'll be back. Hugh Campbell with you. This is NSN Sports. All right, Wilson Taylor trying to close things out and clinch a playoff spot for the Mammoths. Join Wesleyan from the Western Division. Looks like Bates and Tufts might go from the East. And it's going to be the top of the order coming up. Johnny Corning, Ellis Schaefer, Will O'Sullivan. Ground ball to Harry Roberson over to first, one away. So the first out of the inning on one pitch for Wilson Taylor. And Amherst now needs 2 outs before Wesley can get 2 runs. Ellis Schaefer, the shortstop, is up. He is 0 for 3. Ball 1 to Ellis Schaefer. Will O'Sullivan and Matt J if they can keep the inning going. 5-3 Mammoths. I mean, you just got the feeling Amherst would eventually get that tying run, but boy, it was hard work, and the pitching from Wesleyan just hung in there as best they could. But eventually, Ethan Rohde, who started the first game, came in relief, and that's a tall order, is to ask him to do that on the same day. 3-1 to Schaefer. Outside, ball 4. That's not what Brian Ham is looking for at this stage of the game. So a walk to Schaefer brings up Will O'Sullivan. He pops this one up. Chance here for Henley. And it will be Taylor who makes the catch. So there's 2 away now. So Sullivan pops up to the pitcher. And it's going to be up to Matt J. Walked, fly to right, struck out, and grounded out. Jay has 3 home runs on the season. So he is capable of tying this one up with a home run. Mike Castigli warming up in the bullpen just in case. Mike, one of those seniors being honored today. There's the pitch on the way, strike. 0-2 to Matt J. Wilson Taylor trying to close things out. 5-3 Mammoths. We're in the top of the 9th. And a ground ball to Roberson over to second, and that's it. Amherst wins, and they clinch, and they will advance to the playoffs with Middlebury out of the NESCAC Western Division. Boy, it was hard work, though. Very hard work for the Mammoths today. Jackson Volley gave up a 2-run homer. Top of the 7th, Wesleyan stayed alive, and then for the longest time in this one, until Amherst got 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th, to finally put it away. So for my broadcast partner Mike Skillicon, my name is Hugh Campbell. Thanks for joining us here for a doubleheader of baseball. Wesleyan takes game 1, Amherst takes game 2, 5-3. We'll be back here next Wednesday at Memorial Field for a 4 o'clock start. Join us then, won't you? See you later.